Hey, Aspies, what's up? On today's episode of Inside the Asperger Studios, the Reading Room, I'm going to be talking about choosing the right university and what to do when you get there. So let's get on with the show. So, first of all, one of the biggest things you guys want to do is you want to make sure that university has the right program for you, and you want to make sure it has a very good disability department. And what I suggest you do is before you choose any university is you find out which universities you want to go to and you make sure that they have the program for you. When I went for my master's, I made sure the university had a computer science department, which was very beneficial to me because I'm very big in computers. I know some of you guys out there who have interest in chemistry and all sorts of things. Make sure that university has a program in that field. That's uno for you guys. The next thing is make sure they have a top-notch disability department. And how you do that is you search for their website and you find if they have a disability department, you contact them and you say, "Hi, my name is so and so. I have ASD, ADHD, and I was wondering what kind of benefits and programs and things you offer for those of us on disability." And they'll tell you, and they'll come back to you hopefully within a day or maybe before the day's up and say, "Hi, thank you for contacting us so much. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're expecting from our department?" Well, with me, I contacted my disability department and I said, "Hi, my name is Reid Miles. I have ASD, ADHD, OCD, and dyslexia." And they came back with, "Hi, Reid, my name is so and so, and I'd be glad to help you out. What are you looking for, and tell us what you would like, and we'll see if we offer that." I'm like, "Well, do you offer on-time testing and help with studies and help with just navigating life while you're there?" And I got an email back, and he said, "Yes, we do offer on-time testing. We do offer help with studies and everything else." So I said, "That's great." So that's the number one thing you guys need to concentrate on is the disability department because they're there to help you out. So you want to make sure the school has your program. You want to make sure they have a very big disability department. Now, some of you may be great in bigger schools, but for those of you who are more introverted and want something smaller, you want to research that school and find out the student population. My student population was about 12,000, which was great, which meant I was a small fish in a small pond. And transversing from one area to another to go from class A to class B was simple. It was only a 5 minute walk, and the longest was maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then I found out later from my teachers that classes started later, 5 minutes late, and ended 5 minutes early. So you can get out of your class to the next one in time, which is great. This way you can get to your class without worrying. So now you know how to choose your school. Now you know that when you choose it, you need to know that they have the right program for you, they have a good disability department, and that they're going to be able to help you out. And you need to choose the size of your campus. There are small, medium, and large, just like if you're ordering a drink, small, medium, large. The bigger campuses are those who want a bigger nightlife and more stuff to do. The small campuses are those of you guys who just want to chill, make friends, study, and have a good time as well. Now, once you're at campus, it's a whole other story. There's navigation, there's making friends, and there's just getting along in life. One of the biggest things I say you do is you keep a repetition with your disability advisor. You see them once a week. You set up a once a week appointment with them, like I had with mine, and you talk about things. You talk about your anxieties, what you're nervous about, and he will then reach out. And I don't know what other universities have it, but my university, when I was in England, had a well-being advisor that made sure you were eating well, made sure you were getting along with your classmates, make sure your studies were doing great, and make sure you were just doing well. Period. That's a great thing because the well-being advisor is their most important job is to make sure you're enjoying your life there on campus. They don't want anybody who is miserable. Now, once you're there, you're wondering, how do I make friends? Best way to do that is in England, they have societies. My college had societies. They had a Hogwarts society. They had a video game society. They had a board game society. They had over 50 some odd societies to choose from anything you can even think of, from political to cultural. They had, you name it, they had it. I joined three, and then during my fourth term, I dropped two and went just to one, which was my Hogwarts, is which where I made my most friends. Now, if you're going as an undergrad, it's going to be a little harder in England because their ways of living are a little different with dorm styles. They're not, you get to stay in your dorm throughout the end of the until for 4 years. You go from September to September, and then you need to find a living space off campus. For the post grads, like me, the master students, you were there for the full time for the 1 year. And then if you're doing part time, it's a 2 year. So now you know that you to make friends, you choose a society and you use a society to make friends. You also may want to make friends with your classmates. Maybe approach them and say, "Hey, can we come form a study group? Can we get together and have coffee and talk over the coursework?" I didn't make much friends with my classmates. I was older. I was a little skeptical of them. They were there, but I made friends with my society mates, which made life a lot easier. I have some really good friends I stay in touch with today, and even some of my postgraduate friends I still stay in touch with, which is great. Now, once you're in college, there are some great tips and tricks I'm going to give you guys so you can help you with studying. One of the tips I learned from Dan over at the Aspie World is when you're recording your class, put your finger up in front of the camera when something important comes up. So when you're reviewing that later, you see your hand up and you know that's something important. But some of the other tips I've learned, I taught myself are sit up in front. This way, if you have ADHD along with your ASD, you're forced to pay attention. You're forced to you won't fall asleep, and you're more focused on what's going on in front of you than what's going on behind you. And you're this way you're more focused on what's happening. When you're studying, highlight. Use your highlighters until you wear them out. Highlight anything that you know is important. And when it comes to studying, I'm going to teach you guys something that helped me study. First off, I'm going to tell you cramming for a quiz or even your exams are not for everybody. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone can absorb all this information within a year or 4 years and then spew it out at the end of the term. The best advice I can give you guys is study for 10 minutes on, take 5 minutes off. 10 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And what's happening is you're giving your mind time to process everything that's going on in your head up here, and your mind is beginning to understand everything. And there is a very one of my well-being advisors told me something very informative to me, and she's like, "There's a difference between knowing your material and understanding your material. That's why those who have photographic memory know the material, but they don't necessarily understand what they're studying. They just visualize it, remember it, and that's it. And they pass it, but they can't use that material later in life because they don't understand what's going on. So when you're doing 10 minutes on and 5 minutes off, you're giving your mind time to process that information, to understand what you're reading, and then you go over it again and you keep doing it. And I did that one day. I was literally walking down a path, going through my head, going through my notes of a class that I have an exam for. And I realized right there and then, I understood what I was studying and what I was going over. I understood the material to the point that felt comfortable knowing it and talking to people about it. So, you guys are probably wondering what courses I chose when I went for my master's, and I went for Advanced Computer Science and Computational Intelligence, which is a very high level artificial intelligence class. It was hard. And I will say, I didn't walk away with a master's. I walked away with a postgraduate certificate, which is the same as a master's minus your dissertation and one course. Well, it's the same thing in my book. But, anyways, if you use those notes and those tricks and tips I told you guys, You will get through your campus. You'll have your right college. You'll have the time of your life. And one of the most important things I'm going to tell you guys is this: do not stress the little stuff. The minute you start stressing about stuff and focusing on that, you're going to become incapacitated and not be able to focus on having a good time and focus on your work. Take that stress, put it aside, and concentrate on the day as it comes. Every day is a brand new day. Focus on that. Each day is a new day. So, remember, guys, to click that like and subscribe button down below. Click that little bell button to get notified when new videos come up. And remember, you're never alone in this world, guys. You're never alone. Talk to you in the next one.